Sema cheni tina ke asema jamu enyi sano mundi emu aye yo enyi lofa emu aye yo
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandmaster.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I forget now ya to money. That's the TV, and I forget it now. Cause you walk on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandmaster.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and out of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to sell. The flesh, the time, and the efforts are rare. The broadcast we giving are real and I promise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nimba to Lufa, from River Sass, River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Kidman, Monserrat, San to Backbolu, from Maryland, Bon County to Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
In the Sktv, it is the best in Liberia. Sktv, it is the best in Africa, and Sktv, it is the best around the world. That's why we are receiving a lot of information from people across the globe. Because why? The way we receive the informations, and that's how we pull this information out to the public. You know, we have no SARS. You know, that's the beauty of us. Sometimes people think like that. In fact, we are SARS because all in mind of us as people, especially Liberians, it's just about politics, politics, politics. So by the time you talk something, they just want to say, in fact, you are on the other side. So, well, again, that's the beauty of life. People have to sometimes say whatsoever thing they want to say, thing that they want to do, the way they want to behave. But at the end of the day, guess what? The Lord. The Lord is the Lord. But folks, good evening. Today is Thursday, the 24th of April. So to tell you that the month of April is gradually winding down, moving straight into May. And for a matter of fact, May 1 is my birthday. So happy pre-birthday to me, myself, and I. So again, folks, what a way to say the pleasant good evening. And 5 minutes past 6, that's a time check, right? Please check your watch, check your clock. And those of you who may be outside of Liberia, or maybe you're in Europe, or maybe you're in Canada, or maybe still in the US, or which part of the world you are. And I know maybe the time difference, maybe it's in the morning time, it's afternoon time, or better still, maybe your time. But again, folks, good evening. Good evening, though. Please, let's share the show. Steve will be here with us today. And guess what? It will be very tough. It will be interesting. And I know all of the things you want to hear today, you will hear everything, especially when it comes to the happening there from the Supreme Court, who agreeing and who saying no, who saying yes. Others are saying yes, others are saying no. So we have so many things to talk about also in the Nimba counties and interior by-elections. Finally, by this time, the National Election Commission giving the final results, and also going to announce the winner from the April 22nd by-election. But before that, one of the candidates, or one of the two leading candidates, one of them already considered not too long, Madam Ide Ganglo, where she just has a press conference saying that indeed the by-elections have been won by Samuel Kogai of the MDR and that of the rescue support candidate of the vice president. So that means we can safely tell you that indeed Samuel Koga, it is the winner because there are two leading candidates, and when one already gave up, then that alone tells you that indeed the other person is the winner. You know, that's the beauty of democracy. Some of us that the thing we like. For me, that what I love so dearly. I love for people to freely associate, you know, for people to freely associate and disassociate. Don't insult, don't load down on people just because they are not supporting you. So you want to insult them, you know, you want to see them as terrible. No, just convince them. If you can't convince the people to support you, or maybe the way you want them to be with you, if you're not able to convince them, then leave them. You know, that's the thing. So to be insulting people, to be telling people you this, you that, just because they're not on your side, then for me, I'm not in with that when it comes to politics. That's my part of leg or dislike about politics, because politics, especially for democracy, let the will of people prevail. Give people the chance to freely associate. That's why you say you want democracy. You want for people to vote. So everybody can be on the same party, you know, or can be with the same party. Allow people to associate with another party while you on the other side. Well, every time you see people commenting, insulting their fellow Liberians, like they have no right to join other political parties. Well, anyway, Mark, my brother, good. I think it's morning time from your end, but good evening from our end here in Liberia.
Yeah, yes, 8 minutes past 1 o'clock here, Central Pacific time zone. It's good. It's good afternoon anyway. But yeah, good to be on SKTV. Share the show, comment, like, and share as usual, and we will be ready to rock and roll for today. Today is what, the 24th of the month. We are 5 days or 6 days away from what, a week from the
Yes,
month of May, right?
yes, indeed, entering the fifth month. So, for a matter of fact, I think the rescue government they got to start doubling up. Time,
Yeah.
look, more than that, I know that time waiting for no man.
No, time is the most important currency on the planet. That's why they say you spend time. The same way you spend money and how you spend time. The only difference is you can get money back and you can get time back. If people, I always tell you in this show, I say when people realize how important, how valuable time is, they will use every minute of the day behind things that are more important. That's just where it is. You can't get it back. It's one shot.
Seriously, so Mark, thank you. So people, please let's share the show. Ali Masale, let me recognize few of you. Say Jacobs, Tavius, Pachu, good evening to all of you. Whether it's afternoon or morning time, please forgive us. But here in Liberia, it's evening time. Mata Gay, yes, indeed. Good evening to you. Robert Fasula Jackley, also good evening to you. From around the world, Life for Fana, good evening to you. And James David, also good evening to you. Watching from New Jersey, good evening to you, James. And Sebastian William, good evening to you. Elizabeth Bound from Maryland, good evening to you. And to all of you, please, let's share the show. Those of you who joining us, let's share, comment, and like. Steve will be here. Mr. Connor will be here with us, and the rest of the other team members, they are also setting up to join us. But Monk, let's just start the show now because we're just getting some of the latest updates, especially from Nimba, when it comes to the by-election, where one of the candidates prior to the final results and the pronouncement of the winner conceding defeat. What say you? I don't know whether you follow that quickly.
Yeah, I followed the concession speech from Madam Edith Gonglo. I mean, we've been talking about the numbers from yesterday, about the prison and the polling station numbers that were pouring in. But unfortunately, they told us there was some outstanding ballot in, I don't know, from 25 polling stations that were yet to come because of the proximity and the terrain when it comes to mobile communication, whether it's electricity or whatsoever it is. But at the end of the day, I woke up and saw a concession speech from Madam Edith Gonglo. The only thing I predicted in the election, I said there can only be one outcome. The government is not going to put up all this stunt and spend all the resources for somebody else to win. At the end of the day, I knew that Koga was going to win, and the result just confirmed it. So we moved. The one thing I learned from Nimba County election that we will never get past travel lines. That's one thing I know. The people that are in power with more resources will give themselves an unfair advantage. In most instances, they will come out on top. And the Liberian people that are the victim of circumstances, the one thing that I learned, they are not ready for change, and they won't be ready for change anytime soon. That one thing I realized, because I told folks the Nimba County election will tell a lot about 2029, and the confirmations are all there for you to take and interpret. That's just why it is in Liberian politics.
I want to ask you. Yeah, go ahead. I know, go ahead. I want to ask you because you just said something about the tribal and that are the way the people vote. But I know, go ahead. When you finish, I will ask you.
No, I mean, I will just give you a point, and then I will get some all together and then turn it back over to you. So go ahead.
Yes. So my questions, in fact, is about should we blame these people maybe the way they vote because you are talking about voting, or should we blame some of our politicians, quote unquote? Because Monk, I think sometimes the people think that some Monk is always with us, Monk always here with us, and Monk understands some of our things that we go through. It better let's give it to Monk than Mayborn, who quote unquote maybe in Monrovia, let me just say that way, in the nation capital, you know, who not even coming down to us, you know, to even, you know, make some firewood, side us and so forth. But Monk, what's you want us to blame these people, or should we blame the politicians who sometimes distance themselves from these people, or who are not connecting with these people?
Well, it's hard to say, but I will blame the voters to a certain extent. Maybe the politicians are in it for themselves. They are the one benefiting from the system. They won't want for the system to change. They want to keep it going for as long as possible, right? The people who are the victims, at the end of the day, at a certain point in time, you have to realize that somebody pulling a stunt on you or a trick on you, right? And you can't keep falling for the same thing, because at the end of the day, why you get to benefit from the system? You are the one that's in it. Look at what's happening in the house. Look at what happened in Nimba County. And you're telling me that in spite of what is happening on the national level, you still try to play that kind of a politics at your own detriment. My brother, I'm not going to blame a politician, because the one thing that I know we have, that's why we have elections. Election is the voter way of expressing that dissatisfaction or that satisfaction. That's why we go to the polls. We don't have a dictator. We go to election, you go and cast your ballot. You know what affects the country, you know what affects you. So for me to sit here and blame the politician, no, I blame the voters first before the politician. The politicians are in the business. They play a business model on you. They are the one that are getting richer, that are living a better life. When they get sick, they fly to Ghana or any nearby country to give themselves top of the top healthcare. So if you will sit there and keep playing tribal politics because you want to keep setting God in power, then so be it. How can I blame the politician? And the second thing I learned from this election is the fact that some of the people who claim to be the advocate for the poor people themselves, they keep playing games with our people. They play too many games that confuse the voters themselves. And they do it for their own self-aggrandizement, for their own gains, political gains. So I will shift the blame on both sides, but at the end of the day, no matter what kind of game is being played, the people themselves, they are the last result. And I don't know how we can get out of this situation. And I don't want to believe that anytime soon this particular system is going to change, because when people get used to a particular system for more than a generation plus, for you to just come and disrupt it with a change, it's going to be almost impossible. And Nimba County election taught me a lot, whether it was from the Mark Bleon's perspective, whether it's from the Ide Gonglo's perspective, whether it's about the impasse happening in the house or on the entire national level. Liberia is not going to get better anytime soon. Maybe not in my lifetime. I can tell you that on the show for free.
So I agree with you on some of the things, but in closing, you said that some of our advocates, and Monk, that's where the point is. These advocates, they will go, quote unquote, go to these people, explain about the life that the people are already into, pretend and lie to these people that, okay, we will do this, we will do that. You see, Steve is far better, because mind you, some of our people, Monk, they don't even know some of the candidates, but they are four soldiers or they are campaign managers, they are lieutenants and so forth, are the one going out there to sell these candidates to the people. So, like, for example, I go now and sell Steve. Steve is the this, Steve is the that. Please, vote for Steve and so on. These people were convinced by me because they feel that they trust me and gave Steve authority. Because for me, that's what I've really been observing, and you just know it from 2005 up to now. Sometimes the lieutenant will go to these people and lie, or sometimes even say the truth that yes, Steve is good. By the time they gave Steve the position, Steve now try now to misuse the position that was given to him, by these people and even neglect the people or even forget about the suffering of the people. And that's the life that we are living today, that we are also going through. So for me, in closing quickly before Steve come on, for me, both sides, like you said, yes, indeed, I will agree with you that the politicians, they will be blamed, and also the voters, because if you saw Samuel Koga was kneeling down to the elders, the same elders today that when they call them, when there's a situation, they don't listen, but they were kneeling down to the same elders yesterday. So it's like, give me the power, let me abuse you with your own power. For me, now what I'm saying. But again, Steve, welcome, my brother. Everything, what's up?
Yeah, Melbourne. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to Monk. The rest of the crew. Good afternoon from you guys is in. From my end, it's still in the morning here. It's still 11 o'clock in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm happy to be here. Sorry for being late. I got caught up with something. I just came. But fascinating conversation so far. I've been listening. It's very interesting. There are a lot of things going on. There are a lot of things we will share. There are a lot of things we will talk about. But I want to agree mostly with most of the things I've heard Monk said regarding the politics of Liberia, regarding people that have led Liberia, people that potentially in line currently could lead Liberia. Monk, Melbourne, there is no end in sight. What that means, in other words, is this thing will continue to be the same cycle. For some of us who have come around and tried and will continue to try to speak for what is right, because we stand for what is right, regardless of what it is, we will continue to maintain our position. I want everybody to know that. I don't speak for people. I don't speak on behalf of anybody, especially when you're grown. People will speak for themselves. But it's very disappointing. It's very frustrating. It's irritating that, even before an election can start, you already know the result. So it's discouraging that people might not want to get involved with these kind of things, And I want to say this to the common people in Liberia. I want to say this to the young people in Liberia. Until your parents, your mom and your pop, your brothers and sisters, your uncle, to the young ones who come in, I'm not talking about the ones who in the 30s, who already grown 25, 21, above, or whatever it is, until you yourself, I mean your people, your parents, your family members. Mr. Kana, can you put your name, please? It's a noise for background. Until they can rise up to the occasion, you have no future. You will have no future. You will born your own children, they will have no future. They will never enjoy, they will never see life. You will born them just how they born you. And you are living the way you are living. And some of you will live the way you are living, the way you are living currently. You will die like that. And your children will come and suffer the same thing. Oh, one of the things I always, when I talk to Monk Behind Closed, one of the things I'm thankful to God for, I'm ever grateful to God for, is for God providing me the opportunity through my aunt, other family members and loved ones, to afford me the opportunity to come to the United States. That is one of my greatest things I'm happy for, that I did not stay in that country to waste the way I see potentials and talents wasting in that country. That's what I want to say. And I don't know if Mr. Kana can hear us. Mr. Kana, welcome to the show. I don't know if you can hear us.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead, please. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Yeah, so quickly, I listened to Monk and I listened to you. The problem in Liberia when it comes to voting is that most of our people they believe that they are voting for the people. They're not voting for themselves. That is the problem. Until our people can realize that voting is their right, and not only being the right, but it's the only tool that they have to decide their own destiny. But for them, they are voting between Steve and Melbourne. So because Steve, they don't like Steve, or because they don't like somebody who's supporting Steve, even if Steve is the one with the answer to their problem, they will not support Steve. Because for them, they are not voting for themselves. They are voting for Steve. They are voting for Mabel. I'm just telling you guys as an example. Until people can realize to say, you know what, we are doing this for ourselves. What is in it for us? Let's look at the people who has the the answer for us, for our problem. Who can really do things for us? What are their records? What have this person done for us, or these people done for us? Who is actually in the right position to change our life? Until we can come to that realization, I can tell you, we'll be in cycle. And I believe there will be time. There are people that actually think outside of the box, but they are not enough to effectuate any change in Liberia. There are people who think right, who looking at things from the right perspective, from developmental perspective or change perspective, or anything that will actually better their life. But vast majority of those who are voting, they don't see it that way. They feel like they are voting for the people. They're not voting for themselves. It's not about them. So that has been a problem, and I hope people will realize that down the line, sometime in their lifetime. Also, the politicians in Liberia, majority of them are not doing it for the people. That's the problem. Everybody's doing it, majority of people doing it for what's in it for themselves, what goes to their pocket. So they will manipulate the people, spend their own money to manipulate them, sometimes spend the people money to manipulate them. At the end of the day, when they could not afford 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom apartment to live, by the time they get that position, in less than a year or two, you start to see them building hundreds of thousands of dollars, home. So the problem is both ways, but bulk of the problem, in my opinion, is with the people themselves. They have to want to vote for themselves. They have to vote for what is in it for them, and what the people who are asking them to vote for them, what they can do for them, what they have done for them in the past, until they can really place their vote on that and stop thinking that they are voting for the people. Then we're not going to go anywhere.
Thank you. I'm about on you.
Yes, I want to ask you, Steve, and that of Monk, and that of Mr. Connor this question, since we are saying this. I really like that. But Mr. Connor, Steve, and that of Monk, if we are saying that the people, or quote-unquote, say yes, it is the people, I agree. Now, should we also say, okay, yes, let these same people maybe use the same formula or maybe the same system in the US, where you see the community put money together, or because the politicians are more said, because they use these things as a way of business. They come here because they feel that our people are living in poverty. If I tell you, even on the show, how many people that reach out to us every time, in fact to me, to even reach out to you, Steve, Mark, and someone, but some that they know. Their platform is not about us doing this and doing that. So because the people feel that our people are poor, no job for the people, nothing for the people to do, so they use these things as a way of riding on them, maybe for them to manipulate them. So now, my question to three of you is, what can be the change? What can our people do now? Because if they still continue this way, that means the life of our people will go nowhere. Because the politician will step in the little catch that we saw there one time, where they were distributing cash back to back. So what's the way forward for all of these things, maybe to come to an end, or maybe for us to say, yes, this thing I found it stop?
You want me to go first, or Steve? You can go if you want.
No, yeah, Sekou go first. I'll follow you guys.
Let Sekou go. I think he's somewhere busy. I mean, from the background, but if he can chime in, we can come.
Yeah. So let me chime in just for a minute or two. Maybe to answer your question, what I said earlier, that is where I believe the problems are. The people themselves, they have to realize that their vote is their power. Let us stop voting based on sentiment. Let us stop voting for $20. Let us stop voting. Let us stop mortgaging the life or the future of their children for tribal reason. Let us stop mortgaging the future of their children just because of country solidarity. Let it go for tangibles. Let it realize that our vote is only available to them once every 6 years or once every 9 years. Just one time. So selling your future or the future of your children just to satisfy your tribal sentiment or just to satisfy your belonging as a party, or just to satisfy your anger against somebody who is supporting the other party, even though you know that person, that party is able to change your life, change your country, and better the future of your country or of your children. Until they can start to vote on tangible, on development, on the future of their children, on education, on agriculture, on things that will change their life from where they are right now, from point A to point B. Maybe nothing will change. We're blaming the politicians. I can only blame politicians who are elected for not being honest or paying, doing the right thing for the people. But if the politician behave one time, two times, the same way, or the same kind of politician, and you keep voting for the same people, knowing the fact that they got nothing to offer to you, then you are the problem. They mean the politician. Let's take for example, we're gonna be over there for a year. But nothing to point. People just Koga a man of their own. We're not voting for what is in your interest or interest in the country.
Well, Steve, I don't know what I get in Mr. Kane.
I was saying, sorry, Milba, I was saying to Mr. Kane, we can't hear him. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Yes, so I think Mr. Kane, I think you got a tape break. Yeah, we're not getting you.
Mr. Kane, we can't hear what you're saying, please. Can you go in and come back out? Because we're not hearing you.
Yeah, I think you got to walk out and then come back in. I think that would be okay.
Yeah, Monk, can you go ahead, please? Let me see, Mr. Kane.
Yeah, I think he's back. Let me try again.
No, he's not making.
Oh, he making it?
No, he's not making.
Oh, okay.
He love for the show, but he's not making.
Yeah, but I see him popping in and out. I see him back on the screen from my end. Maybe
he's not making, brother.
Or maybe my sister.
It's okay. I'm good, but I'm done. Where am I?
Well, I think Sekou said it all. That's just where we are. And the reason being, I always blame the voter no matter what. I'm not a psychologist. Most of the time when we get anything psychological or social sciences, Steve, you kind of inform about it. One thing that I learned, that I read of, they got two things. They got something called the pain and the pleasure threshold. Anything that a human being perceived to be pain, you want it to stop as quickly as possible. Anything that you perceive to be pleasurable, you want it to keep going forever because you are enjoying it. That's the relationship between the politician and the voters in Liberia. What made you think these guys will attempt to stop what's happening in the country when you are there endorsing it all the time by means of the ballot box. You are the one feeling the pain, the economic pain and pressure. You are the one going down by every measurable index, nothing happening for the country. So you want me to believe in a country that doesn't have a thriving private sector, when it comes to job opportunity, there's somebody that is giving 6 or 9 years, making X amount of money, we want that to stop? No, they will keep pushing it to the max until our people can get uncomfortable. And I said it on the show, the only way Liberia can change until we stop the way how we make choices in Liberia when it comes to election, because you only got one shot. There is no other way we can make choices on a national level except through the ballot box. So if you are going to put your tribal sentiment ahead, if you are going to put your county over the country, if you are going to put your political leader, even though you know he's incompetent, over the country, then nothing, my brother, is going to change. That's the primary reason you see over the past 4 elections, the participation rate been declining steadily, because people believe there is no point, even though they are the main corporate. But at a certain point in time, like I said, even some of the so-called advocate candidates, they will go behind the scene and compromise. So at the end of the day, some people say, you know what? Let me just throw in the towel. There is no need. Let me go out there, struggle for my food, because for me, I know I'm going to die. There will be no better education for my children. There will be no better health care. So let me resort to a survival mode. I take it one day at a time. And the one thing that I understand, like I tell anybody that lives in the oh, I don't know. Let me stop there for now. I think I'm somebody breaking in, coming in, out.
No, go ahead, Mom. Finish your thought, please. Please.
And I will keep saying it. We sometimes we want to blame our people, but that's just the economic reality. For some people, or most of us that live in other countries, maybe in industrialized or Western country, we don't think short term. For us, it's about your children college. It's about your retirement, how you want to transition from this country. Or you don't worry about food, you don't worry about healthcare. In the worst case scenario, you will stay eating this country. When you drop on the street, ambulance will come and pick you up. You got these services. But for our people, guess what? If you're in survival mode, you are only thinking about tomorrow and today. What you eat today. When you go to bed, you worry about the next day. So when you got a group of people that are constantly in the art of manipulating you, my brother, more than likely you will fall for the gimmick, because of what? Your current economic condition. So for me, looking at it in totality, my brother, there is no hope for the future. I will say that on the show. Maybe the generation after our generation might be better, but I don't think it will happen in my lifetime. No.
Thank you, Mom. Let me, the reason I'm laughing is because some of us come on this show because we care about Liberia. I'll be very honest. And I want to say openly on the show that I don't think our commitment, let me not speak in general terms. Let me speak on behalf of myself first. I don't think my commitment to Liberia has anything to do with any political party, any political person. It's more about the future, like Monk said, and like Siku said. It's more about the lives of other children who do not have the privileges we have. This morning I had the opportunity, to drop my son and my daughter to school. I did that. I had the opportunity to do that. Or they could catch the bus, right? I had an opportunity. I told them, I said, I would drop you off, right? And I drove them. And I took pride in it. And as I was driving, when I got to the school and I parked, that's when I wrote that post and just laughed and said Liberia. And I said Liberia, and I laughed. The reason I said that is because some of you will never, this is not a curse. You will never take a shower until you die. You will never drink or running water that tastes good, healthy, safe. Never, you will never. You will never have the opportunity to have breakfast. I'm not talking about warming cold rest. I'm talking about healthy breakfast. You will never have the opportunity to do it, because you know what? The people who you stay in line to support and vote, they've taken everything away from you. They've eaten your future, and they've eaten the future of your own children. And they're working towards eating the future of your unborn children. Can you imagine 3 generations they eat your future, or 4 generations? Can you imagine? When we told you on the show, don't vote for Joseph Human Boakai, it's because we knew Joseph Human Boakai has nothing to offer you. We knew it. We knew it. We knew it. Look, for me, I got to the point where I realized, I won't say on the show today, I don't blame Costa for his behavior. I see why Costa acts the way he acts. Let me say it openly, I don't blame Costa for his behavior. I see why Costa and other people who come in as advocate or are speaking for you act the way they act and why they behave the way they behave. Costa didn't have to tell me this. No one had to tell me this. I just been around the political scene in Liberians. I see what we love. I see the kind of people we hail. I see the kind of people we cherish, the kind of people we love. Oh, I love that. Those are the kind of people you're like. So I see why they behave. I would never feel sorry for you guys. Never in my life. I can't feel sorry for you guys. You get what you deserve in life. That's what you guys deserve. Samuel Koga wrote on a post, I'm not sure if that's an official Facebook post, Nimba wins because they have gone into a deal, allegedly, and they have sat down and told people that ran with them, people that will be challenging the status quo, they paid them off, allegedly. So everything is okay now. You become the buffoon. And Samuel Koga is going to go to the Senate, do nothing like he did in the House of Rep. Samuel Koga will do nothing. The same way I told you Joseph Boakai will do nothing. Samuel Koga will do nothing. It's clear. You know what I mean? To get somebody 13 years and they're not effective and efficient, they have done nothing for you.
Yeah, you know,
do you know what I mean? And you turn around and get a person another 9 years out of your life, and you say that person want to change you and represent you. You got to be mad. Something got to be wrong with you. But I'm saying these things to say that anybody who comes in and tell me, say, you know, the politician, they do this, they do that, and you know the politician, then they're like they're a criminal, they're like this. No. Let me tell you today, going forward, I will stand for the politicians on the show. I will make case for the politician on the show. I'm telling you today so you can hear it. I will make case for those politicians on the show. I will stand for them. It will be hard for me to speak against any politician on the show. I want you to hear you. And I want you to also know that if you think, oh, maybe Steve is bought or whatever it is, I challenge any living human being in Liberia politician to provide proof where I eat money from them or where I ask them for money, I took money from them, because you know why I'm not there. But the reason why I was staying with them is because this is what you guys love. These are the kind of people you guys like. In fact, don't be surprised if you see me writing 2029, you should carry Jeremiah Kun. Oh, don't be surprised. Do not be surprised. You are addicted to fools, criminals, and bad people, and I will support you in your ventures. Oh, I will. Going forward, I will not criticize Joseph Boakai. I'm not going to criticize Joseph Boakai. It sounds like a joke. But you know, we have to help you guys. Look, some of us got to help you guys to your early grave. We got to escort you there. That's what you deserve. That's what you want. Me, come on this show and talk against politicians, waste my time with that foolishness. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I will stand with those politicians. In fact, I even might, when we get to the Richard Kun, I even mad why Richard Kun is resigning. Why the majority bloc giving in? I'm mad at them. I'm very mad at them. Richard Kun should be the speaker. The thing what the Supreme Court said are black, and that's serious. Supreme Court are serious. I stand with the majority black because you know what? You don't deserve good. You don't like good. You don't know good. Anything you support going forward, and the way I know you support all these bad things or whatever it is, none of you have conglomerated and stood up for the future of your children, for your own future. Everything these politicians do to you, you take it and say, let's wait for 6 years. You take it and say, oh yeah, the country will change by the grace of God. So guess what? We're praying to God the country will change. Let a man either 6 years or 9 years or whatever it is. I want to openly apologize to all the politicians that I've criticized, calling you criminals, crooks, and rogues. I want to beg you today, please forgive me. I'm standing with you guys. I'm with you guys going forward. Melbourne, it's up to you. It sounds funny to you, Melbourne. You see nothing here.
God, they can do it. Yes.
Melbourne, sorry. Go ahead.
I come in, Monk. Let me just conclude on that. The reason why I'm asking you people the question.
When Melbourne finish, I want to say something about what Steve said.
Yes. So so quickly, Mr. Cannon. So for me, I think I will blame the system. Like somebody commented on one of our followers here, I think Dauda, yeah, I think Dauda or something, right? Because when democracy is a way of life. I think this is the comment of Dauda. He said that they keep the people poor, jobless, hungry, illiterate, and destitute just to bar them with handout during elections. And that's the fact. Even those people who quote unquote will claim that maybe they are good set of people, the only person, maybe 100% that can easily support now into any elections in Mr. or Honorable Musa Hassan Benete, because I've seen what he has done. I'm seeing all of the tangible. I can walk on his bridge, so that one is not sepe. But apart from his ability, I'm not seeing anybody who's easily that can win my heart. Because almost all of the politicians, they pass through all of the roles, all of the communities, everywhere they go back to back. They contribute nothing. Only time for election. So the only way I will be convinced as one of the other voters, quickly before me coming, except they do what they do, they do the work the way Mr. Benedict is doing. Then time for elections, then we will decide. But for me, all of these things to admit, the system is terrible. And nothing the people can do. We fought war for this system to come back to itself to be good. At the end of the day, we killed 250,000 people. The system stayed terrible. Should we go back to the same thing? No. But what can we do? Because all of the blame shifting for me is not helping us, and we're not going nowhere. So thank you, Mr. Kane. Go ahead. That's what I wanted to say on that entire thing about.
Melbourne, the problem when you say the system is nothing without the people. People change system. And those that are supposed to help us change the system, we are not voting for them. How will the system change? Those who want to keep the same system that we're talking about right now as a bad system are the people that we like. So that's the point Steve was making. Is that you don't want good people, but you want to keep blaming people who are abusing you every day, but at the same time, you keep electing them. So if you want to go with that analogy to say, they make the people hungry, they keep them hungry, they keep them, uneducated, uninformed, and everything, that means there's no end in sight, because people are making concerted effort every day. You must say coming on here every day, enlightening the people, telling them what is wrong, telling them what is right, and giving them facts. For example, Musa Beledi, that you just mentioned, Musa Beledi been working in Nimba, in district number 7 and beyond. Musa Beledi had a candidate in the race. Guess what? Musa Beledi and his candidate, they told the Nimba people, support my candidate. Whatever I'm doing in other district, we'll do it in your district. Whatever we're doing in other area, we know Nimba people want development, we'll carry the development in your own area. But guess what? They say no. That's not what we want. We don't want development. That's not what we want. We want Koga, who has nothing to show. We want Koga, who is one of our own, based on tribe, based on party affiliation, based on support for president, based on support for the vice president. And guess what? Overall, based on the fact that they have money to give us right now, short-term benefit. We don't care about that your bridge. We don't care about the school you're building. We don't care about anything you're doing that will have a long-term effect on our people, especially when it comes to schooling, when it comes to clinic, when it comes to road, when it comes to bridges. All we care about right now is what goes to your pocket, what satisfies us, and one or two persons will get a job. Similarly, even politicians, Most of them went in there. They were not supporting any other candidate based on, believe that that person can perform or can do anything, but because what they expect to get in 2029 in return, regardless of the performance of that candidate, regardless of history. Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Cullen, I think the same situation, but we're not getting. I don't know what I see.
They get it.
Yeah, our Senseku is breaking up. I think
You get me?
Yeah, you're breaking up. Getting you, but you're breaking up.
Mr. Cullen, are you there?
Well, let's hear from Monk. Maybe Monk can react because nobody definitely want to react to the statement that you made. I do want to react to the statement that you made, and I want to. Monk, go ahead, please.
Mr. Khan is done.
Yeah, he's still.
Yeah, but we're not getting Mr. Cannon too good. So yeah, go ahead, Monk.
I think Sekou said it. The whole thing about this fancy what people call about system. No, system just mean people. It's just a pattern that you use to do things on a day-to-day basis. You call system, but who's implementing the system? The same people. And in the case of a government, the only people that will cast ballot are the very same people that are the victims, right? And an election, like I said, it only gave you an opportunity to go and prove whether you are satisfied or you are dissatisfied. The one thing that I observe in Liberian politics, that's why I say it's not a matter of education, it's a matter of choice. The people who are the victim, they are not ready to change the country. They love what they are getting. So let me give you one example. If you can observe, every election, the first thing that they will do, they will first identify the people who they believe are capable and scratch them out. Do you observe that? That's the first thing they will do. They will look at a candidate that present the best option. They will take them out and start looking for the ones that will give them the same result they have been getting over and over, whether it's based on travel land, whether it's based on popularity. They are very good in identifying the better candidate. Because when you ask them one question, they will give you one answer. And then when you ask another question, every election cycle, they will find an excuse to justify why they got rid of the people who we perceive to be better. That's just why it is. So if anybody want to buy into this idea that the people, the politician being bamboozling the voter, I say that's a lie. The voter themselves, no. They just choose to go with those people because that's what they are used to. So until we change, like I said, until we change our system, nothing is going to change for us. And who become the victim? The people who are being abused every day. This morning I woke up, I saw something very interesting. The party boy, they are very good when it comes to propaganda. They claim that the World Bank is about to give them $500 million in grant, which is a lie. I know it's a loan because IMF is not in the business of giving grants. IMF took advantage of poorer countries throughout history that have been since they came into being. IMF. You cannot name one country that the IMF made better economically. No, never happened in history. So they came out now that the IMF is here to make sure the arrest agenda is implemented by giving them $500 million. So when I saw them posting it today, the rescue agenda, the Amos 20, all the guys, I just laughed. I said, but they were the same thing Sedition did a few years ago. When Georgia went through the standard drawing right, when the IMF charged all 38 cents on every dollar, that Liberia was giving $155 million for us to pay $213 million. All you saw on Facebook, Paku, you scroll. The president agenda are like, no, they just coming to find another means to steal and get wealthy and then pass the debt over to you and your children so you remain in poverty. Because whenever, I keep saying on the show, whenever the budget is passed, the one thing that is guaranteed is the repayment of the IMF or international loans. And who's paying the price? The more Liberia goes foreign the debt. You. That's what Steve said. They're not only stealing from you, they're stealing from your children and your unborn children, and then you are there sharing it. Every election cycle, you are in evidence. So how can you convince a guy like me that people are manipulating you? No, you made a conscious choice. Nobody's manipulating you. And Steve said it right. I can see why some of these same people, like the co-side other people, they will compromise because you ain't worth fighting for. That's just why it isn't like, bro. You ain't worth the time, you ain't worth the effort, and you ain't worth fighting for. So at the end of the day, Even people with good intention will always compromise because they believe there is no need fighting for you. That's just why it is.
Let me comment on a statement Milborn made. You know, I want to beg Milborn in this public space to please start making that statement. I really were, you know, Milborn is somebody who is a brother and I care about, but I want to beg him to please start making that statement in this public. Milborn is a grown man. He's not a little boy. He needs to start making that statement. Every time he says he will blame the system, it sounds like either he's not in touch with reality, he doesn't know what's going on, or he knows what's going on, but he's playing like he doesn't know what's going on. Who put the system there? The system fell out from heaven again there. Who running the system? Who keeps the system going? Are the system running itself? You see, when you make these kind of comments, Milborn, you make people to look at you funny and start asking you funny questions. And this is not personal, but I'm just saying to you, you know, I hope you will not be making that kind of statement in public because people got respect for you. But when you start making the kind of statement and say you blame the system, it's like telling somebody, say you went to the vending machine to buy something, you put money there, but you're standing there waiting for the money to come from there, for the food to come from there. What like something wrong with you? How will you say you blame the system? How can you blame the system? Who's in charge of the system? You think when it's a system that human being? System that not human being? You think when it's a system that's someone a machine? It is a human being that the people are not making it to work. So if you want blame, let's stop this thing. Look, it's okay for you to say you blame the politicians. You will not go to hell. You will not die. It's okay for you to say you blame the Liberian people for the way they vote and the steps that they have not taken to even protect their own votes or to show to the politician that they are tired of being used. Look, Milborn, there are countless of countries in the world that have stood up against bad leadership and against bad people. I've never seen it in Liberian people. Even the 1990 war, what they fought, it was all about greed, killing each other because they didn't get rid of those. What the New York after September 9, 1990, and that the regime went there? What's the New York continuing the fight again? So you see, it was all about greed. It was never about removing one regime that was bad to replace it with another regime that was good. I want to challenge our history today. I want to challenge our history in Liberia today. It has never been about doing what is right. No, it has never. I want to challenge our history. It has never been about doing what is right. And Mom puts it right. I know that because every time we see someone that is going to do what is right, we sit there, we conglomerate to come after them and go against them. Let me give you a typical example. You can make an example where you say yourself, Clemency Ure, Child Walker Bronskin, people with good intents, people who wanted to come and change things. You're going against them. Alexander Cummings, your tried, United Party and CDC tried to take him to court. When they feel that it didn't work, they said they'll use the ballot box to eliminate him. And that's what you did. And you know, when you do that, you say you're smart. You act like you're smart. You think you're smart. You honor yourself for the long term. That's what you've done. You know, I was listening to Edith Gonglo's brother, Kelibo Gonglo, on one of the show. I think it was Closing Arguments. And he was saying how some BB people in CDC confessed to him that the 2020 election, they stole it from his sister, and some people that now they regret or whatever it is. Kelibo Gonglo, start wasting your time, my brother. The CDC and the Unity Party are the parties me I will support going forward. Because we, the Liberian people, we are addicted to uselessness. We love useless people. We love useless ventures. We are not serious-minded group of people. We don't like good people. So guess what? The next election, let it be about CDC and Unity Party. Can you imagine? Instead of discussing forward, we are discussing Joria come back. And you tell me that I will be coming on my phone on the show. And you wasting my time? You really tell me I should be doing that? to come here and bash these same politicians so they can go and vote for them later on and make you look like something wrong with you. No, it's not going to happen. Me, I support my people. Me, I'm a typical Liberian man. Everything about me is typical Liberian to the point where I've never been with other nationality. Only Liberian with me, I've been with in my life. And the one I know. So I'm 100% Liberian man. So anything Liberian people want me, I will support you inside. I support the Liberian people. Let's bring Joria back so that Joria can change the country, my people. Let's bring man and balance so we can change the country. They see where we brought Joseph Boakai back to change the country to rescue us. You look at an 80 years old man who has never benefited himself in his entire life. You gave him a country to run. Why your friend in other countries running away, in Africa running away from 80-year-old people? You running towards an 80-year-old man who are living alone. And you want me to can't get there with you? Let's bring Joria back, my people. I'm begging you. Let's bring Joria back. You don't get a ball hat. Let's bring Joria back. Joria is good for that country. Me now, I gotta say, I'll be coming on the show. If you look, it will be practically impossible for me to really go after politicians like I used to. I'm not going to say, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Well, thank you, my dear brother. Cassidy, what's up, man? I haven't finished, my brother. 1 minute quickly. What's up before we go for the news break?
All right. I hope you guys can get me. Can you get me?
I'm getting you. Yes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nimba, and thank you, Steve, and the rest of the guys. It's been some time now. We've been out, but thank God we're here. We're back. But for this end, what the weekend we had this.
We will get to you for the update. We'll come back after the news bulletin. We just wanted you to just say hi to our people. Yeah, that's okay. No time already. So we'll come back after the news bulletin.
Yeah.
Then we'll come back to you for update. But quickly to my brother Steve, indeed, my brother, maybe Frank. That's the beauty of democracy, and the people have that right. For me, I'll not sit on the radio and say people should go hijack people and bring them. No, because the people they've been voting from 2005 up to now. Even we have some Google lawmakers in our building, but by the time they enter, they will be good outside, but by the time they enter, they change. So it's very hard to talk. These things, let's be frank, and let's just say the truth, that it is indeed difficult to talk about. Because people will pretend that they are good outside, but by the time they give them opportunity to go in there to serve, they change. And we're not saying anything, and we're not listening to anything, my brother. So when we come here, we'll just tell you that indeed they are good people and they are bad people. But the system that you live in on our side, that's what makes you today to even say what you are saying. But for us, I come in quickly, my brother. The system we live in, or the system that we live here with, is terrible. Until that somebody will even come from the US with all the good system in them. By the time they enter in Liberia, they tell Liberia attitude. They tell Liberia behavior. They take the same attitude here. So that's what I'm saying. If, like for example, somebody will say nobody throw death on the or in the street, in the US or maybe in Africa, you don't see this in there. But somebody will come here in Liberia here and eat maybe the banana peeling, instead of them putting it in a car, they won't do it. They will chuck it right in the street. Somebody that come from somewhere, maybe somewhere good. So it's just about the system. The system is not protective. Nobody protecting it. Nobody cares about it. So the system broke down completely. So that's what I'm saying. And the politicians, they use the system to get what they want to get. And exactly. So that's it, my brother. I don't know where to say, but I give folks. Yes. So we are about to go for the news bulletin waiting. Yeah, to see, because let me be frank. So look, this country, let's put all jokes aside. If Liberia will get better, Liberia getting better will come from outside of Liberia, from overseas. Let me tell those of you that are following us today. If you control our economy, where the foreign people, they are all in charge today. If you control it, most definitely you finish controlling Liberia. Well, our economy in people's hands, everything we do here, like politics. Everything we do in this country is just about politics. We do politics, we talk politics. Foreign people come here, foreign people come here and they get money. They have stores, they control things, they do businesses. How many Liberian people are doing business here? No. But see them today. Everybody buying flashy cars. People are enjoying life. People are all up and down into politics. What they do is politics. Even when by the time you ever open the land now, people want to talk politics. Nobody want to talk about investment. Nobody want to talk about business. Nobody want to talk about things that maybe some of the engineering things. Nobody want to talk about these things. All people want to hear now is politics because politics make the faster money. People get money faster in politics than in any other place. So that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, my brother, people will want to shift the blame on our people 100%. Maybe because they feel that maybe the candidate that they were supporting, the candidate didn't win. So that's why maybe they want to shift. No, for me, I'm not going to go that route. But what I'm saying here is, in general, from 2005 up to now, we've been changing. This is the third president. This is the third president. Manasali was the first. From Manasali, George Weah, from George Weah, Joseph Boakai. How can we stay into the same cycle? At least if we haven't changed anybody, then you say yes. But we have changed president, we have changed lawmakers over and over. Dozens of lawmakers have been changed. But I will say that is. But again, let's see our best to go for the news break. I think the team they are here. Thank you so much. And yeah.
Good evening, RCR News Bulletin at 7. My name is Marka Davis. In the headlines, National Elections Commission releases final results from the Nimba County senatorial by-election, declaring Representative Sama Koga as the winner. Governor of Liberia describes the Supreme Court's recent ruling on the leadership crisis in the House of Representatives as a critical opportunity for lawmakers to recommit to national service over political interest. Citizens in Grangeda County alarmed over threats to their life by the illegal settlement of Burkinabes in the county. And out of Liberia, Benin's government admits that 54 soldiers were killed by suspected jihadists in the country's north last week near the borders with Burkina Faso and Niger. Those are the headlines. Now the news in detail. The National Elections Commission has released the final results of the Nimba County senatorial by-election, declaring Representative Sama Koga as the winner. Koga obtained 62,136 votes, representing 52.08% of the vote tally across the county. His closest competitor, Madam Edith Gonglowe, got 40,506 votes, constituting 33.95%. Making the final pronouncement late Thursday, NEC chairperson Deviota Brown Lassanan said the results represent all 736 polling places across Nimba County. Representative Koga will replace late Senator Prince Johnson, who died on November 28, 2024, after he fell off at his home in Painesville. His election has now created room for another by-election for his replacement in District Number 5, Nimba County. Meanwhile, in less than an hour to the final results, independent candidate Edith Gonglowe conceded defeat and congratulated Representative Sama Koga as winner of the Nimba by-election. Speaking at a press conference Thursday, Madam Gonglowe thanked Nimbaians for expressing their constitutional rights by turning out to participate in the election. The lone female candidate appreciated her supporters, especially the women of Liberia, for the unwavering support during the process. The government of Liberia has described the Supreme Court's recent ruling on the leadership crisis in the House of Representatives as a critical opportunity for lawmakers to recommit to national service over political interest. Information Minister Jerolimic Pia, on behalf of the government, said the Boakai administration is deeply concerned that a prolonged standoff in the House is distracting from the country's development agenda and weakening public trust in democratic governance. He said the internal dispute has the potential to undermine the progress the government is making in national development and governance, while affirming or reaffirming the government's respect for the independence of all three branches of government. The information minister called on lawmakers to adhere to the Supreme Court's ruling and use it as a foundation to craft a peaceful political resolution to the crisis. Minister Pia also highlighted the government's efforts to engage stakeholders, including the Traditional Council, in the search for common ground. He urged lawmakers to rise above personal and political interests and return to legislative business, emphasizing that Liberia's recovery and growth require collective sacrifice. He spoke Thursday at the Ministry of Information's regular press briefing in Monrovia. In a related development, the Press Union of Liberia has commended the Supreme Court for providing crucial legal clarity in the case concerning the majority members of the House of Representatives regarding the removal of Speaker Funati Kofa. President Julius Kanuba said the union believes that the ruling on Wednesday on the amended bit of information filed by Speaker Kofa reflects the Supreme Court's steadfast commitment to upholding the rule of law without bias, favor, or fear. In light of the court's decision, Kanuba urged all members of the House of Representatives to respect and adhere fully to both the letter and the spirit of the ruling. The press union is meanwhile encouraging members of the House to now seek a constitutional resolution to the protracted internal conflict surrounding the speakership. Speaking to RCA News on Thursday, Julius Kanuba said, as an organization dedicated to democracy and social justice, the PUL calls upon lawmakers to prioritize the national interest above partisan divisions. Citizens in Grangida County have alarmed over threats to their lives by the illegal settlement of Burkinabes in the county. The Grangidians, under the banner Liberia Forest and Wildlife Protection, disclosed that the Burkinabes are allegedly attacking citizens of the county in the forest. Something he said is alarming. The group, through an open letter to President Boakai, expressed fears that the situation, if not addressed, may degenerate into chaos between Liberia and Burkina Faso. Addressing a press conference Thursday in Monrovia, the group, through its president, retired Major of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Samuel Kwiti, noted that despite engagement with the county's leadership, there have been no redress, something he said is leaving citizens vulnerable. Kwiti, meanwhile, called on President Boakai for a swift intervention in removing those unauthorized Burkinabes occupying the area and reinforce immigration laws rigorously to prevent further illicit entries. You are listening to a bulletin of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. We broadcast from Dupodro in Pinsville outside Monrovia. In more news, Bomi County Senator Edwin Snow has assured that the Liberian Senate will respect the Supreme Court's decision and recognize Funati Kofa as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Senator Snow said once the Supreme Court has ruled into the House of Representatives crisis over the removal of Speaker Kofa, they are under obligation to obey. According to him, it has no benefits on the ordinary Liberians to see the House in leadership crisis. Snow said the government cannot function properly in the midst of crisis, especially where members of the legislature are fighting among themselves. The Bomi County lawmaker said members of the majority and other senior government officials should muster the courage to adhere to the court's ruling. He spoke when he appeared on a live talk show in Monrovia. In a related development, former Associate Justice Cabinet Jane has assured of absolute enforcement of the Supreme Court's ruling into the House of Representatives crisis. According to him, once the Supreme Court comes down on or with a ruling, it is binding to be obeyed. The former Associate Justice therefore encouraged members of the House to now prioritize issues affecting the Liberian people than their personal interest. Former Justice Janet, meanwhile, called on President Boakai to adhere to the court's ruling to bring to an end the long fight in the House. He also expressed disappointment in some officials of government who have threatened not to obey the Supreme Court's opinion. The former justice spoke via mobile phone on an evening talk show in Monrovia. Former Deputy Education Minister for Instructions, Dr. Mato Pangbai, is admonishing school principals across the country to exert efforts in modeling the minds or molding the minds of the future leaders by educating the future leaders of any nation in the midst of glaring challenges, set a nation on the right trajectory of success. Speaking at the 8th convention of the National Association of Liberian School Principals on Thursday in Pinzo, Dr. Pangbai noted that regardless of challenges schools across the country are facing, principals can collaborate to drive the nation's future forward. He urged principals to create a mindset that schools can become better through innovation and leading with courage, something he said can happen through collaboration. In remarks, the acting president of the National Association of Liberian School Principals, Dr. Benjamin Way, underscored the convention as a significant step in moving the institution forward. Dr. Way stressed that the institution has experienced financial constraints, organizational challenges, and the complexities of conducting a constitutional convention amidst internal and external uncertainties. He, among other things, named the establishment of membership in the 16 educational counties and organizing two international conferences as some achievements of the organization under his watch. Dr. Way is meanwhile encouraging individuals with interest in the pending election to engage the process with peace and a mindset to push the institution forward. And away from Liberia now, Benin's government has admitted that 54 soldiers were killed by suspected jihadists in the country's north last week near the borders with Burkina Faso and Niger. The authorities had previously said that only 8 soldiers were killed. The revised figure makes it the deadliest known attack since insurgents began operating in northern Benin at the beginning of the decade. The attack has been claimed by an Al-Qaeda-linked group, Jamaat Nusrat Islam, which is based in Mali but has in recent years expanded its operations to neighboring countries. The jihadist group had said it killed 70 soldiers in raids on 2 military posts in the north, according to intelligence group Sktv. Janem is one of several jihadist groups operating in West Africa's Sahel region, especially Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, where the military governments are struggling to contain the insurgency. To end this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. National Elections Commission releases final results from the Nimba County senatorial by-election, declaring Representative Samuel Koga as the winner. Government of Liberia described the Supreme Court's ruling on the leadership crisis in the House of Representatives as a critical opportunity for lawmakers to recommit to national service over political interest. Citizens in Grand Jida County alarmed over threats to their lives by the illegal settlement of Burkinabes in that part of the country. And out of Liberia, Benin's government admits that 54 soldiers were killed by suspected jihadists in the country's north last week near the borders with Burkina Faso and Niger. That's RCR News Bulletin at 7. My name is Maka Davis.
Mark Davis, and the news bulletin is the regular feature right here on Truth FM 96.1 with 70 minutes down 7. That's the time check from what I said on broadcast. We continue with the broadcast up to 8 o'clock. To those of you who just joining us, this is the SKTV show and right here on Truth FM 96.1. So again, Steve, we're back after the news bulletin. I'm enjoying all of the comments back to back, man. That's just so unique. Wonderful way to go. But my brother, we're back. What say you? Everything? I know you're monitoring the news bulletin, and what see you or what you want to say about the news bulletin. If you grab anything from there, maybe only or maybe that caught your attention. Okay, Steve is already maybe go for a break. But Mark, I guess you are the news bulletin.
Yeah, I listen to portion of it. For me, I don't listen to the entire news bulletin. I run upstairs, go and get one or two things done, and then come back downstairs. Yeah. But however, the former Associate Justice Cabinet General, that's why I keep saying that our country is not ready for business. We are not serious. You know, the last time I checked, Cabinet General was one of the victims of the abuse of the justice system. It was not only local, it went as far as regional because the ECOWAS Parliament or the ECOWAS Court called for his reinstatement and the previous government refused to reinstate him. So when I see these people talking about rule of law, I just find it laughable. The current Speaker of the House is a man who was disbarred for illegality. He went to Liberia and became your speaker. The man who they called in to intervene is also a man who could secretly call the sitting House Speaker and the Senate pro tem to alter a budget that was already passed the law. Look, the country is just a lost cause out of way. So when I just people talking about travesty and the abuse of law and rule of law, like, what are you talking about? What can you possibly be talking about when you talk about rule of law? Like every single person in that country, they abuse the law. You know, one thing I look at, I was looking at the public financial management law of Liberia, right? And they got some how they call it, some provisions. You know, the Supreme Court don't even know that at a certain point in time they are undermining themselves because the biggest instrument in the entire bureaucracy of the government is the budget. That's why the budget itself is a law by itself, backed by the very same constitution. So, for argument's sake, even if you want to assume that Rachel Kuhn is not the legitimate speaker, it means every legislative session held under Rachel Kuhn's leadership will be declared illegal. Now, if you go with that argument, then it means the budget that was passed is also illegal. And guess what? Through appropriation, the lawmakers, the president, and even the entire judiciary branch are getting the benefit of this illegal budget. And the public financial management or law said that in an eventuality wherein the budget is misappropriated according to the very same law, it calls for either a suspension or removal. So it means if Rachel Kuhn is illegal and the budget that was passed under his leadership is illegal and the Supreme Court justices are getting the salary, their gas, and all the compensation, it means they have to pay the money back and they themselves should resign by virtue of the same law. Look, my brother, I don't want to waste my time. Let's move forward.
I respectfully disagree with that. Maybe can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Kana. Go ahead. I know you want to.
Yeah, so I respectfully disagree with a section that because the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court, you're getting paid, and if Kuhn is illegal, then everything else is, should be illegal, including their salaries. The salary is not actually dependent on one budget. It is the government responsibility to pay the people. You want to go borrow the money somewhere to pay the people, you got to pay the people. You support an illegal process. And when there's a fight, a lot can happen. Wherein the compromise, whatever happened during the time of a fight, that will be considered by many people as a collateral damage. It already happened, but it was not planned the way it's not supposed to be the way it happened. What is very important is the ability to move forward, the ability to do the right thing, to do what is right, and learn from it. If Kuhn is illegal, it's illegal. There's nothing we can do about that. He should be removed and let people have new election and get the new speaker if Speaker Kofa decides to step aside, which I believe he will do. But to say because Kuhn is illegal and whatever happened, everything is illegal, they're not going to go back to that. This is politics. Once they find a compromise, they will move on. And I think the country should move on. They should learn from this and never to happen again. People, thank you.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
So now
So,
it's
yeah, Steve,
politics now, but the law now is politics. So it means Richard Kun is illegal, but the budget that will pass on an illegal speaker is legal because the executive. Look, anyway, let me stop there. Let's go ahead.
Because the collateral damage. The consider the collateral damage.
Well, let me say this to Monk. Monk, I think you need to work with me. You need to join me, my brother. Monk, you need to work with me. You need to join me. The people sitting in Liberia, no born there, can't sell it there. You not hearing anything? The very way. They see people then passing around celebrating. People are from movement because we're getting feedback. I said you attack and you tell me, I beg you. They see people passing around celebrating fanatic Kofa and the ruling from the court. Instead of saying, okay, the court now rule, the court honor man themselves. This looks like a criminal venture. This looks like something that the Supreme Court said should be done because they took criminal money, illegal money. They're not saying that, my brother. They are celebrating what the Supreme Court said because it's in favor of fanatic Kofa and Roger Kun then bouncing around and Joseph Baga then eat their own word now. We told Roger Kun we told him before say funny feel going to catch it. It was just a matter of time. They put out there with that. Monk, you need to join me, bro. Don't give yourself out time, please.
I think I will join you.
Let me tell you
More, don't just Steve.
More, don't waste your time because people will leave you there. Don't waste your time, Steve.
More, anything that has to do with seriousness, legality, rule of law.
No, don't.
Anything that has to do with accountability, don't bet on it. People. I say the politicians. I say the Liberian people, the voters. Don't bet your head on it. Don't bet your neck on it, my brother. They will leave that. They will go collect 10 cents, 5 cents for the future. So I reach the place now. They won't celebrate Kofa, we all will celebrate. They won't laugh at Kun, we'll laugh at Kun. Tomorrow, Kun come again, be speaker again, they will celebrate him again. I will go there and celebrate him. Me, let me tell you today, I finish telling you, I'm going with the flow of the Liberian people. Look, the day the Liberian people stand up and say they want stand up and rise up against the government, I will support that venture. I will be part of it too. But until now, we are in the mumu stage of our lives as Liberians, and me are part of the mumu group. And we had the son of Swans there. We got a son of Swans.
Steve, let me ask you. What happened when you stayed with Joseph Barga a while ago? Because you stayed with Joseph Barga for some time, so what happened with that one?
Joseph Barga, I left Joseph Barga because the Liberian people started getting there with him.
Now, if the
Liberian people fall in love with Joseph Barga, no, let me tell you, this is serious. And sometimes we get there with Yeke Koluba. I see why Yeke Koluba then can flip and flap the way they can be doing. I see why Yeke Koluba then can be crying 1 minute that Joria sees a baby, a children. But the next minute he wearing Team Weah jersey, the next minute he going to Joe Weah and calling Joe Weah a political leader. I see the reason behind it. The people are not serious group of people. And if you stand with the Liberian people, let me tell you today, if you stand with the Liberian people, you will be standing on your own. They will disgrace you. They will move from there and go to one criminal. I say.
So Steve, I want to ask you and Monk, if you people are insinuating or maybe saying that yes, the budget it is illegal. Can you people maybe go educate the people or maybe go to court? Can we find a way to or to go to court so we can know as to why the budget was illegal and in fact the people they took money that was not maybe right and some kind of way so that we can know too, because that's the way that we'll know most of these things, because we'll just sit back again and say this one not right, they were not right, and we'll not go into debt or maybe to go into it and just leave it at that, then we'll not want to say anything.
So maybe before Steve and Monk comes in, let me just say something, right? First of all, on a serious note, if this was a serious country, long time ago, investigation should have been opened when the initial alarm was blown that people bribe other people for $15,000 or $25,000. Secondly, it is a serious country, serious government. The justice minister will be fired by now. I can tell you that. But it's not a serious country. We don't have serious people in leadership. And our people who should be holding them accountable, everybody there supporting their own criminals. That's the reason why I said, whatever happened, they will stay our fighting. It will be considered collateral damage, and people they move. That's it. Because they're not serious. They're not serious country.
Mr. Cannon, you're right. I think they would just say yes because we're fighting, and through the fight, maybe certain things were happening, and the country got to move forward. Like in fact, 3 months. I think when the government just took over 3 months, there was no budget signed, but the government were paying for. Yeah, I think the government took almost I don't know how many million dollars for just pay salaries.
No, but let's go back to something serious. If you say in the midst of fighting, things happen.
For all the competition.
And things happen, and collateral damage happen, whatever it is. Why are we calling for one economic crime coup? Why we getting Prince Johnson in Hatta? They were fighting. And if fighting people get killed. So they are fighting your leading order. No.
Nothing coming. See.
Nothing
coming. The border serious. Okay.
Let me end my point because you raised an important point. And that's exactly where we have a problem. If we agree that this was a fight, and in the midst of the fight, people go and do what is wrong, and automatically will come back and say, let's just forget it, let's move on, we're all Liberian, want to go on a new path or whatever it is. This is where we have always gone wrong. Let's forget it. Let's start a new path. I saw Samuel Koga writing today. Nimba wins. I'm seeing people who are on Samuel Koga start insulting people, talking about it's time now for Nimba to come together, that Nimba won and all of this. I'm seeing that. Let me say this to us as Liberians. We will never, ever make progress when there is no accountability, there is no justice, and there is no seriousness to punish people in life. It will never, you can move forward, because you know what's going to happen next? Whoever, allegedly from what we are hearing, that they are trying to bring Chairman Musa Hassan Belede, your PMC people, we're coming for you. We're coming to discuss your story, your CNC people. You ain't see nothing here. We're coming to discuss your story. That they are allegedly trying to bring Chairman Musa Hassan Belede to be Speaker of the House. Let me say this to you.
Steve, I want to ask you.
Yeah, when now,
let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you before you proceed. Before you end, let me ask you.
Okay, carefully, what if I can be doing your yeah, really. Yeah, but I have a question, bro. I have a question.
All right, Steve. You have problem with the ruler of the Supreme Court,
no,
especially. Yeah, you have problem with the budget.
Yeah.
In as much the sitting of the majority bloc was illegal, it means the budget that was passed by the majority bloc is also illegal. So I want to ask you, do you expect the thousands of civil servants to not be paid at the time for 7 months?
That's
when no guys were fighting. Another question is, you expected this fight to continue perpetually without the Supreme Court coming in? Because I believe in my mind that the role the Supreme Court play is to put an end to things that are going on illegally. So having the Supreme Court come in to tell them the way you guys are proceeding is unconstitutional, they will have continued. Even you go even and expect, or maybe those guys could even go as far while they are sitting illegally to say we're going to impeach any member of the Supreme Court bench. So, I want to know, you expected the Supreme Court will be silent. This guy continues sitting unconstitutionally, the forgery. Is that what you expected?
So, if you know your question?
Yeah.
First of all, I don't have any expectation. I don't have any expectation of Liberian politicians to do what is right, for the most part. Most of Liberian politicians, not all of them, most of them, especially the ones that have been given opportunity to lead the country, most of them, in my own view, I would say maybe 99%. I don't have any expectation of them, 99% of them, because you know what? 99% of them are not there with any good intent. 99% of them do not care. 99% of them have nothing to offer. They came to elections through crooked means, stealing. So guess what? They worked their way through. Now, here is my expectation. My expectation is any serious-minded country, the citizens will be asking today for the executive, the Supreme Court, and the legislative branch of government, all three of them, to step down. Any serious country, any country that won't make progress, that's what they will be asking for today. The citizens will be in the street in all countries asking for them to leave. I'm saying it to you today. My man, I don't get nothing to have with nobody. I don't get nothing personal against anybody. Me, I'm a straightforward, fair guy. I keep it 100%. The fact that the citizens are sitting there and the Supreme Court says that Rachel Kuhn has been illegal from day one, but the same Supreme Court accepted the budget that Rachel Kuhn passed, accepted the budget that Joseph Yuma Bwakaren brought forth, and they took the money and they eat it. And you want to lecture me that I expect something from Jeremiah Kune and Joseph Bwaka and Siane Yo and Yom.
Yeah.
Look, my brother, I don't expect it. You know who I expect something from? I expect something from the Liberian people. If the Liberian people don't do nothing, they're okay with it, I'm okay with it too. And that's my position, that way I'm sitting now. I'm okay with it. Guess what? Rachel Kuhn is going to walk scot-free. There will be no investigation. In fact, I'm saying to you guys, we got credible information that CMC chairman Musa Belete, and we on the station though, and he used to be the beat for the radio station. And I'm saying that to you today. Look, let me say this. I stay with the Liberian people. The noise that coming, are not small noise. Let me say it today to you. The noise that coming are not small noise. They're not small noise. Y'all be playing fun with yourselves. This is going to get serious.
Can I come here a little bit, because the question made born it sounds a little bit comical to me, because we cannot be on the radio. We do information search, we do our research, and then you come and be asking questions, things that we discuss. We made it extremely clear to our people that the whole thing, the whole legislative impact was about money. It was about the control of the purse. It has nothing to do with the Constitution. We knew how these two groups are trying to position themselves on committees to position themselves for 2029. You know about that. The budget, like I said, is the biggest instrument in the entire bureaucracy. The budget itself is a law backed by the Constitution. You sat on the show when we called the Supreme Court Chief Justice out when she said they wanted their fair share of the budget. You know about that. You know about Fonanti Kofa had his colleague accusing, and he went on Spoon Talk saying that they put money in his account unknown to himself. I mean, I don't know how stupid somebody can be to believe that a speaker or budget land that was allocated for you, that was inflated significantly, you are telling us that you are not aware, even though the money sat in the account. So for you to say yeah, and now they are saying, oh, it's a collateral damage, so we should ignore the same Constitution that you keep claiming to uphold. Like, bro, you keep confusing yourself. I made it a very simple. The same or public financial management law tells you when you violate the budget, it's a crime. It's a criminal offense. You are telling me that an illegal speaker passed a budget that is backed by law and Constitution. is supposed to be illegal, and every session held under his gavel supposed to be illegal. But somehow, because of collateral damage, we need to ignore the Constitution because the Supreme Court also benefited from the same illegal budget. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Wait,
Steve, one second, man. You're rushing to be talking to us. Look, you the same person. One of the points you raised when Cassidy was speaking, and this is why the point. Oh, for us to allow civil servants to not get paid or whatever it is, Let me say this to you today, Milborn. Civil servant not being paid on time is a responsibility of the government. Civil servant had the right to walk away, protest, and stay away from not being paid. It does not mean the government should do illegal things to pay them. That's not what it means, my brother. You see, this is where we get this whole thing wrong. We think even if somebody commits crime to solve a problem right now, I mean, it's okay. In fact, the problem that you yourself created, the whole speaker thing, Bene, that the Joseph Human Boaga government, Joseph Human Boaga and Jeremiah Kuhn created the whole thing. They don't create the whole thing to remove Kofa. So, for them to inflict themselves with their own problem, and you use the Nimba, also civil servant, they shouldn't get paid, whatever it is. Civil servant, they not get paid, they're forced to go to work. In fact, as part of the protest, civil servants will sit down to the house. So, government can shut down. Because when government shut down, that means no man got to go. That means, though, let me say this, Melbourne, at the end of the change that we are seeking, Americans will not give it to all. International community will not give it to all. God will not give it to all. Jesus will not give it to all. The Liberia people will have to rise up against the government and tell the government that they don't want them again. I'm staying through voting, because when you go to vote, the government will manipulate the voting. Let me tell you today, all that voting thing we're going to be doing in our country, now big flag, those men will manipulate in the way they want it. You got no say in your own vote. Let me tell you what you need to do. Get in the street and ask them to leave. Simple as that. They will go. They will have no option. They will go. I'm saying it to you. No other option. That you'll continue. That country.
Steve, let me come in a little bit. Steve, let me come in a little bit, Steve.
And I will go ahead.
You are saying things that are already in the mind of some people. People like us. Let me point to myself. Steve, besides me being working with the media, I am a activist. So civil activist. And we are going to initiate actions. To every 1,000 steps, you have to start from one. I think what the Supreme Court have done have just started, the process. In as much the Supreme Court is clear in its ruling that everything those guys did were unconstitutional, their next action to come after. We will be seeking those guys to be investigated. And that was some of them, they are aware. They are in the know. That the way they have started, they're not going to just end like that. From the very districts, we will start engaging them.
Let me say this to you. I challenge you. And any other so-called activists you got behind you in our country, none of them will be investigated. You can do nothing because you know what? Majority of the Liberian people are cowards. I'm saying that to you today. They are cowards. They will never rise up to the occasion. I'm telling you today, the men will never be investigated. Nothing will happen, and y'all will go back and y'all say you're starting from scratch, and y'all go back and go get into a bigger problem again and bigger noise. Lead the story, man. When you go investigate, who will investigate who? Y'all who? What y'all will do? Y'all gonna do fine. I'm telling you today, you're gonna do nothing. Majority of the Liberian people, I say, they are cowards in great, and they are people who do not stand up for what is right. I'm saying it. Any Liberian person will get me, including all of us.
Yeah. So, so quickly, I can give few references or maybe references that all of us we are all contributing factors to all of these things. I just like the way Steve just concluded by saying that, because Steve was one of the person that brought in the light. Today, the light is dim. So, look, my brother, this country will get a long way to go.
Ali, I'm saying not to call a lie or criminal or liar or cook, and I will campaign against him. Have you ever criticized Jeremiah? You know, have you ever criticized Jeremiah?
Steve, let me say another thing.
Because
Steve, do not take Liberians for granted. Do not take Liberians for granted. I'm telling you.
1 minute, please. I beg you, Chief. I beg you. Let's make the show so that the people can understand exactly what we're saying here. So, Steve accused me.
Yes.
Good. I just like the way you just said it, right? Where is President or in fact, former President Weah?
Yeah, and you supporting him to come out of power?
No, hello. Is former President Weah still in power?
You support him to come out of power?
No, listen, no. Let me the question bit by bit. I want you to get things clear. Sure. Where is former President Weah?
He's saying making noise, saying politicians won't come out of power again.
I come in, my young man.
He arguing for the respect of the rule of law. Can you imagine? And he's sharing that nonsense yesterday on
No, Monk, I disagree with you when it comes to that. People can be, oh yes, and I have my people. I'm addressing for Steve. Because of this advocacy today that we are doing today is the reason why former President Weah was voted out. I have nothing to talk about former President Weah anymore because he's not in position. For me, I have no issues anymore to come here and can discuss about former President Weah. Former President Weah have nothing to play.
Okay,
so I want you to for you to learn this today. When we come here, the way you see me, I don't even post anything about former President because I have nothing to do with him anymore. He's not in power. He's not in no leadership anymore. So that deal with the people who have been given authority to serve our people. Simple. So that move to Monk. Quickly, maybe before me, can come out, maybe another person. Monk. Somebody can be thief, right? Or maybe somebody can be rogue, that we can say. And the person can advocate and say, look, you bring jail us so that when I run, so that in fact so you can jail us. Monk, are you saying that that person shouldn't maybe talk just because maybe they are criminal?
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm just saying. Because he was one of those that made statement and people were sharing it, how he calling for accountability and rule of law. Like, how do you even want to consider that? For a man that never only disgrace us at home, he disgraces us from the regional standpoint by even disrespecting the ECOWAS code. And you want to read a statement because you want me to accept that because he's not in power. So when he writes something, criticize on a man the rule of law to stand for it because he's not in power. Is that your argument?
No. Here's the point. There are two different cases here. Every time we come here, you'll be comparing maybe Kabina Jana issues with that of this issue. Monk, let's be fair to our people here. Kabina Jana was removed politically, granted, and everybody saw that. But he went through the process. That one. Two, he was removed. Monk.
Which process he went through?
But Monk, you didn't follow all of the process that removed Kabina Jana?
That was for a reinstatement. That was the final conclusion. And the government refused the reinstatement.
Yeah, so granted, I come in quickly. Let me just answer all the question, please. Because it's
I want to listen to your attention.
I come in, hold on, my brother. So, Monk, after Kabina Jana was removed, he joined the Unity Party. His campaign, his talk, he did everything for the rescuers. And today, when the rescuers got their position, or when they were elected, there was space to reinstate Kabina Jana, right? But they played their blind eyes. Even up to date.
I want you to get some more time to say something because you asked a question, you're not allowing to put answer the question. You're defending. So allow us. You did ask more question.
No. I was just saying something to him. You already concluded already. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
I want
All right. Yeah. So you just proved the point Steve made, that you are defending George Monewuya. You never criticize Wuya. You never criticize the CDC. The argument you are making right now, that's something I want to get rid of. To reduce the Liberian polity or the society into a classical between CDC and the Unity Party. Simply because Unity Party is doing X, Y, and Z. Now you want to justify what Joe Wuya did. For you to say that Joe Wuya and the CDC remove Cabinet Jane through the legal process, they must be joking, or you didn't follow the process. The reason why the reason why the ECOWAS court,
I said politically, I didn't say through the legal process.
Okay, you said politically, and you said the right way. You said the right way too. You said politically the right way. You said the process will follow. You said that the process will be legal. The process will be followed legal. Cabinet General was removed without due process in the first place. Cabinet General was removed for a reason, for a decision that was now sent to, that was not impeached for. Cabinet General was removed for a decision that was taken by the full bench, but only he was removed. And also one of the people who took that decision presided over his removal in Justice Koko. So, to one point, Cabinet General went to the ECOWAS court. ECOWAS court found the removal of Cabinet General as illegal, as unconstitutional. So the kingdom of Joe Wuya government, whatever you did was wrong, it was illegal. Even though you think you were right, even though you thought you did it the right way, but you are wrong. Reinstate this guy, reinstate all his benefit. And he played deaf ear to that. So under no circumstances, Joe Wuya is qualified to talk about legal minds, to talk about legality, to talk about due process, or to talk about people respecting the rule of law. Joe Wuya never respected any rule of law, even in terms of death of people. Joe Wuya is not qualified to talk about anything that has to do with rule of law. I can say that for the fact.
Mr. Ghana, yeah. I want to come in by asking this question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who is now the lawyer for Emma Glasgow at the ECOWAS court?
I'll learn Cabinet General. That's what I heard.
Cabinet General.
Yeah.
So Cabinet General went to the ECOWAS court. ECOWAS court came up with a ruling, and the ruling was not upheld. And he is the same Cabinet General who is taking claim to the same ECOWAS court. So we followed the entire process. The judgment from the ECOWAS court was based upon the lack of due process. The ECOWAS court said Cabinet General did not go through the due process, and due process is for you to face your accuser. So in this country, anybody who followed that story, Cabinet General, he facing his accuser on a numerous basis. I still be corrected. We are on the public. We are in the public space. Somebody should call and prove me wrong. The ruling was based upon the lack of due process. So in your mind, did Cabinet General did not go? He didn't go through due process where he was accused. Cabinet General went through due process. He facing his accuser for the lower house up to the House of Senate. Even the day of the finalization of the case,
I don't know.
The Chief Justice was present.
Our attempt to respond to the question. We can hear each other. Please mute yourself so we can hear you. Okay, thank you. So, to be honest with you, I didn't understand the question because the points were not connecting. However, though, Cabinet General is a lawyer. Cabinet General is not going to refuse to represent people when they come to him because he didn't get his right restored by the Liberian government. And Nimba was right. Cabinet General was, Cabinet General supported the Unity Party during the last election, and Cabinet General didn't get any support back from them. That's their business. That's Cabinet General business. And we believe that Cabinet Joseph Baka was not up to the task. We believe Joseph Baka was not the rightful person. If Cabinet General supported him, he did that at his own peril. That's not my business. But what we're saying here, Joseph Baka is in power. Joseph Baka government is acting lawlessly. There are other Liberians who are qualified, who stood up against injustice when it was perpetrated by George Weah and his people. Those Liberians are qualified to talk about injustice now. But if you are just removed, one of the reasons you were removed because of injustice, because of mistreated death of people, because of corruption. You never prosecuted anybody in your government. Even people who were sanctioned for corruption, they were not prosecuted. Despite American people's willingness to provide you evidence. So George Weah is not qualified to say anything when it comes to. We are saying that is right, but those who will support him will support him. But we too have the right to say that George Weah is not qualified because one who's speak equity should come with clean hand. If you think you want to talk about rule of law, you must be somebody who can uphold the rule of law. You have the opportunity to showcase that you are somebody who is law-abiding. Well, you didn't do that. You did the opposite. So what moral ground can you stand on to come here and talk about rule of law? That's the point. He must be ashamed of himself to even write anything that will talk about rule of law, because he's not a respecter of the rule of law. So that's the point I wanted to make. And then before I go, just 30 seconds is that so we'll come up and clarify, because Edith, I've considered Emmanuel Yato instructed our political leader, for speaking for our party. And Emmanuel Yato told the Liberian people that 95% of the vote that he had, the particular paper that he had, Edith was going to win the election. So like Emmanuel Yato, apologize to us, or personally, I'm going to go rogue on him and actually understand, put him on the spotlight for lying and insulting people based on falsehood.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kane. So to Mark and my brother Steve who come here for me, I don't waste my time on people who are already out. So all I think I just see some of these things as complete waste of energy, waste of time. Time for elections. When there are elections, we can talk about some of these things as to who be candidate that want to be in the race, and how best we can talk about some of the candidates. But for now, I have no dealing with even Manasarif. I have no dealing with even the former vice president, because that's a waste of time.
No, it's not waste of time. That's why you got pushing it.
Monk, I come in, Monk. Even when we come here to be calling George Weah, every time for me, I see that complete waste of time. The reason is just very simple. Because some people, they do that, maybe they feel that maybe they still were talking about maybe the old people thinking about the male contestant. Well, that's a man right. If you feel that maybe you want to go and vote for him, well, it's a right. If you don't want to vote for him, it is a right. For me, that's just the point that I'm standing on.
So maybe if it's just for we are right to contest or to speak on politics, is it not our right to bring it into the discussion?
No.
So that's not waste of time. It's not waste of time. Because it's not waste of time, because Joe Weah staying in the picture. If Joe Weah was nowhere to be found, he's not active in politics. Joe Weah has no ambition. Joe Weah is not doing anything with our politics. We come here to talk about him, wasting our time. But the fact that Joe Weah is active in politics, Joe Weah still have ambition. Joe Weah still have people who believe that Joe Weah can come and be president. It is our job, it is our duty to tell the people who Joe Weah is, and Joe Weah has no moral ground to stand on to talk about rule of law or anything in the legality, because he's corrupt as hell.
Mr. Kane, I do agree with you 100%. But for people, like for example, for Steve to be saying that I've never and it is also my right not to even talk about maybe Alexander Cummings because these people, I think that they have nothing anymore to even talk about. So why should I be wasting my time? Why can't I put my energy behind maybe those people who have been given authority to actually set. That's my point. So for Mo to come and say, or for Steve to say this and that to me, that's what I'm saying. But I have no issue with you because some of here, more been talking about against former president we have for all of the longer time. You ever see me even talking or even talking about that? For me, I don't really care about that. That's just my side. That's what I'm saying. It is your right.
All right, allow Mo to say something because we're about to go now.
Yes.
For me, the only reason I came at you because you said that he's not in power. No, in politics, they get something called precedent. Even when Supreme Court making decision to go to the past to see how they adjudicate it on a particular case before they can make a decision. So a precedent coming from the chief executive officer in any country is important. That's why I said from the beginning of the show, I said we will never get a solution because this particular impasse started from the House. The reason I said it, because the lawmaker, whenever you put politics in the constitution, the two cannot hold. You will never get a constitutional solution from a political impasse. That's why I said from day one. The only reason people talk aside because in Liberia politics is a classical. That's why I said the former president, they were always from manipulating the process. The only difference with we are was he manipulated the justice system to put another Southeastern on the Supreme Court bench to gain an advantage. He did it on the course. With Joseph Boaka, people say the manipulation is in the house. That's the only difference. But at the end of the day, it's the same old thing. We saw it twice on Madam Salif. So this idea that because someone is no longer in power, you want me to listen to Madam Salif talk about rule of law when in fact she was one of those that brought into place the whole speaker being removed from power? My brother, I don't come into politics to take a side or to defend one side. And the only reason most of you guys are supporting Fanatic Kofa because he's a victim, I bet you it will switch places between Fanatic Kofa and Rachel Kuhn. 95% of the people who claiming that they are fighting for the rule of law, they will support Fanatic Kofa. That's just why it is in Liberia. That's why some of us will come here. You can hate our analysis, you can call all you want. At the end of the day, once I know the premise of this argument and know where it's for, I'm not taking no side. I could care less. I only go by parliamentary rules, the way how you practice around the world and the reality. Whether you can bring a Supreme Court justice to interpret law that they feel that they can interpret because they feel it's Supreme Court justice, it's up to you. Because at the end of the day, the main problem in Liberia about speakers being removed from office is mostly political, and we are seeing it now with multiple precedents. I'm done for the day, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, but let me just say a statement before we go, please. Before we go, if you don't mind. I know we'll be turning the show over to you folks. Let me say this. I've said it over and over. I stand by everything I've said here today. For me, I'm not here to change my mind on things. I'm willing to be where the Liberian people want to be. I support the Liberian people. Equally, so I blame the Liberian people for everything that's going on. They have allowed all these things to happen. They have sat there and they've tolerated all of this thing. They're ready to rise up. I'll rise up with them. Until then, if they choose to support whoever they want to support, even if they want to bring Joe back, I will support them. Let me tell you. Let me tell you today. I know we are addicted to suffering. I know we let bad people, we let bad things. We the Liberian people, we don't like it. We Christian nation, we godly people that lie. I know that most of us do not like what is good. We don't like good things. I know that because of the leaders we elect, the people we support. So I'm not here to make any kind of different story or to do that or to do that. The only thing I say, and I'll continue to say it, I stand by what I said. Melbourne has not criticized Joe, and Melbourne is a Joe supporter. I stand by it. A level in his behavior has demonstrated it. I don't care anything else about me. That one not important to me. The one that important is for me to say the truth. I stand with the Liberian people, my people. So anything y'all say, Liberian people, I will. And I said, I won an election, and what happened? Well, Nimba
won.
Nimba Kado again. When you're feeling your cause each other, your disgrace each other. Either like I said, you can go take her court behind closed door. What thing concern me? What thing concern me? Either Gongo can go take her court behind closed door. What thing concern me? And nothing concern me. I will elaborate pool. So that one on your, on me. Folks, have a good night.
Yeah, guys, I think we exhausted the time. But anyway, that's it.
Yeah, good night, and it is what it is. Good night, folks.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We judge it for podcast